Greetings, Shining Bulls and Shining Bears, and welcome to this, the 17th episode of the Crypto Astrology Podcast. We are going to take a look at what this week holds for Bitcoin and Ether price. But first, please always check out my Shining Bull website, where I have all kinds of offerings for all suns, including a trading signal service for day traders, a weekly forecast for both swing and day traders, and predictive books and book bundle deals. I have actually two very important books I released a while ago. One is called Bitcoin by 2026. The other one is called Ethereum by 2026. I think that right now those books are quite important to take a look at. And along with those, I have two new books. One is called The Cosmic Guide to Ethereum Layer 2 Solutions. It covers Arbitrum, Optimism, Polygon Matic, Starknet, and ZK Sync. And that's really good to read in tandem with the Ethereum by 2026 book. And then I have another new book called Bitcoin Countries, which is probably really good to read along with the Bitcoin by 2026 book. Anyway, if nothing is within your price range, then just follow me on Twitter and make sure to get notifications for this podcast and subscribe to my channel, as I give a lot of free info out here. All right, so now let's take a look at this week in Bitcoin and Ether price. Although I, the astrologer, live in Newfoundland, I am now giving these predictions as per UTC time. And this week I want to try something new, which is I'm only going to mention the most important price moves for the week. These price moves are the ones that will show up as large candles on the 2-hour chart and the daily chart, or the type of movements that create a new direction that becomes visible on the daily chart. Okay, so that way I hope to give you a better idea of how the week is going to move as a whole. So all of these movements day by day that I'm mentioning are movements that are very important, okay, for this week, and are going to change the way that this week the price moves. So let's start with Sunday. The most important move on Sunday that happens is a strong upward direction that initiates by the late evening on Sunday UTC, when the moon hits Saturn's cuspal degree. And that upward direction should, as I see it, continue into the night, with the moon hitting Mars's cuspal degree. Next, Monday. Monday's most important moves are an important downward movement that I see happening in the early morning when the moon enters into Bharani Nakshatra. And then I see a new climate uplifting the market. And that new climate becomes clear by the early evening on Monday UTC, when moon hits a trine to retrograding Mercury, while almost exactly on Jupiter, as Jupiter is turning retrograde, Jupiter has already turned retrograde. Moon is going to exactly trine retrograding Mercury in Leo while transiting with, like, almost right on retrograding Jupiter. This is a very important moment, extremely important. This is really huge, actually, and this should begin, as I see it, a new upward trend on the daily charts for Bitcoin and Ether. And so that movement on Monday is so important and is likely to change everything. Okay, just be aware. So next, on Tuesday, the most important thing that happens on Tuesday is that mid-afternoon, there will be an important movement tied to news events when the moon enters into the Aquarius Navamsha of Kritika Nakshatra. And it's important to keep in mind that the news that comes in on Tuesday afternoon UTC is likely to move markets. So Tuesday, especially Tuesday beginning in the afternoon, so maybe like starting midday, I would start being very attentive to the news, because news that comes out Tuesday afternoon can definitely move the markets. Okay. Next, on Wednesday, by mid-morning on Wednesday UTC, I see an important upward movement starting because of news, again, about a very important administrative decision, because Mercury is going to retrograde past the Sun at that moment. That's also really important. So I see a very important administrative decision happening. I see that this should move markets up. Okay. Then I want to let you know that either Wednesday night or very early on Thursday, there will be challenges as the Sun joins Jupiter and Ketu in Libra in the Navamsha. That's likely to create down moves, downward retests. Okay, that I almost see it having. It could be about some action going after, especially exchanges. Crypto exchanges, that's what it looks like to me. Looks pretty, looks like a really serious thing that can create an important downward retest. Okay, but as I mentioned, Monday, what happens Monday with Moon transiting with retrograde Jupiter, who will have just turned retrograde while trining retrograding Mercury, that is going to actually be setting the tone for not just this week, but until actually the middle of this month. So yeah, but I do see a downward retest happening either starting Wednesday night or early Thursday morning. Okay. And then, and so also, I guess that it could also have to do, even that could be related to the to the Bitcoin spot ETFs, or to spot ETFs, or to even to Ether futures ETFs. It could also be related to that, what happens Wednesday night or Thursday early morning, because Libra, of course, which is where Sun is entering into in the Navamsha, is related to exchanges, but also is going to be related to the ETF products. But something about that just made me think of governments going after exchanges particularly, but it could be either thing. And then on Friday, UTC, by early afternoon, I see a strong green candle will happen because of an exact trine between the moon and retrograding Saturn. That's early afternoon on Friday UTC. And then on early Saturday morning UTC, we'll start off with a strong movement aiming for an important retest as the moon hits Mercury's cuspal degree. And then by mid-morning, I see an upward trend initiating as the moon enters into Punarvasu. That looks like an important decision is being reversed that's going to affect markets. So I really can't understate the importance of this week and the potential for surprises, and the kind of surprises that are really highly unusual. So So the kinds of surprises that change everything. And so just like, yeah, this is a pretty special week actually. And I just also want to say, like, in your personal lives, yeah, this is an intense transit, and especially with, I've noticed Jupiter, when Jupiter is slowing down and getting ready to turn retrograde, like that affects people in different ways. And so just like, I don't know, like just be maybe like especially conscientious of of what's happening, and but also enjoy it, because it can bring a lot of very nice feelings, and a lot of enjoyment. So I hope that you all enjoy this transit. Anyway, that was the weekly forecast for the week ahead in Bitcoin and Ether price. For intraday traders, my signal service is best, but my weekly forecast is also key for day traders and swing traders. I'm actually, like I'm noticing, yeah, I have two products. One is signal service for day traders. Then I have a weekly forecast that's really good for swing traders and day traders. And I may see how to offer these to you together in some way, because they kind of inform each other, and I'm just trying to improve them also. So yeah, I'll keep you updated on those. Yeah, it's quite interesting because the movements of the planets is what is creating everything, including news events, of course. And it can be quite a nice tool to understand what is happening in the sky, as kind of a temporal signal for important movements that can initiate in the charts. So anyway, then of course my books give the larger market context, which is also important for traders and of course investors to understand. So next, let's talk about the news from this past week. And again, although I, the astrologer, am physically located in Newfoundland, I am referencing UTC time as opposed to my time zone here. So this past week, on Tuesday, August 29th, Bitcoin price surged from under 26,000 to over 28,000 after Grayscale won its case against the SEC. At this time, the moon opposed retrograding Venus, while the moon also joined Sun in Cancer in the Navamsha. And Venus has been retrograding in Cancer in the sky. And that's who moon was opposing in the sky. And this retrograde transit of Venus in Ashlesha Nakshatra in Cancer has been especially causing women, to do surprising things in relation to material assets for unknown reasons. So, and I think that the judge in this case was a woman also. Anyway, then on Thursday, August 31st, the gains were erased when the SEC delayed decisions on all pending spot Bitcoin ETF applications. And astrologically, that happened when the moon exactly opposed retrograding Mercury, who was about to enter into trine to Jupiter. And what I notice is that for about a month now, every time that the moon enters into a trine or opposition with Jupiter, I've noticed a price reversal initiate, which reverses major down moves, especially for Bitcoin. And this trend started when Jupiter entered into the Libra Pada of Bharani Nakshatra. That trend of basically Jupiter reversing downward price movements every time the moon trined Jupiter or opposed Jupiter. So, look about the sign of Libra, where Jupiter had entered in the Navamsha once that tendency started on the charts. Looking ahead to October, I'm predicting challenges for Bitcoin when the sun moves into that same sign of Libra in the sky. And you can take a look again at my 2023 predictions books for more on that. And this is significant because the SEC's deadline for ETF decisions falls within these dates, as in, like, they have several deadlines. That's their next deadline to say something. So what it looks like to me is that something is going to first happen related to the ETFs that takes markets down, but then suddenly at the full moon at the end of October, when moon transits with Jupiter in opposition to a closely conjunct Mercury and Mars in Swati Nakshatra, markets start heading up, probably because of another surprising event that takes a Bitcoin spot ETF live. That's what it looks like to me. But as for this week, what I see is that somehow on this Monday, when Jupiter turns retrograde while trining retrograding Mercury almost exactly, there is something very strange that initiates that will take markets up, and it is likely related to BlackRock. So don't be surprised if something strange comes to light that you wouldn't have expected, especially in relation to the BlackRock ETF filing. So that's all for this week, and I will see you next week.